Morning guys, so as you can see I'm a little bit grubby. Today I am taking off and cleaning the EGR valve on the Lexus. So no codes or anything like that in the system, but I did notice a little bit down on MPG and smelt just a little bit carbon diesel-y when you put your foot down a little bit. So I know they're a common problem on these to block up, and I want to know that when I sell this car, I sell it in the best condition that I'm able to sell it in. So I've taken it off. It's a bit of a struggle to film, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the process of taking it off. Really simple. You guys can do it at home if you have this car. Most cars as well, EGR valves, fairly accessible. Common maintenance on a diesel. I recommend you clean them out every 15-20,000 miles and just keep on top of it, because when they block up they can give you limp mode and so on, and it can be expensive to take to a garage, but it's real simple to do for yourself. So I'm going to flip the camera around now. I'm going to show you the process of taking it off, why you need to take it off, and then we'll get down to cleaning it. So you will see down here these two studs. This is where the EGR sits. Now the reason it's so important to clean these, this here is just all hardened, built up carbon. Now what that's doing is, this is your inlet manifold, so it's choking the air that's going into the engine, and because of that restriction, that's what's going to cause you bad MPG. It connects down back there, just where you can see that hole. Now there is, so your EGR here, it sits on these studs. Let me just wiggle that on. So it sits on them studs like that. You've got two 12mm bolts that hold that down. And then this here is your manifold, and that essentially goes in there. Again, two 12mm bolts, and it sits on your studs there like that. So like I say, it's pretty easy to take off yourself. You remove the two 12mm, remove your two 12mm at the back. They're a little bit fiddly to get to. I don't quite know if you can see, there's one up there and then there's another one just down there. Get them off. Once you've got them off, you can wiggle the manifold out. You can then continue to take your wire plug out. It just sits there. Take that out and this will just lift straight off. There is gaskets between each part like this. These two, which sit on your main EGR, don't tend to go missing. This one sits back of the engine against there, so just be very, very careful not to drop that when you're taking it out of the block. The condition of the EGR itself isn't terrible, but it's definitely worth a clean. EGR manifold, I've already given it a blast with some engine parts degreaser, so I'm going to give that a scrub out. What you want to do, it's going to be quite hard to maintain filming whilst doing it, but essentially just want to get a screwdriver, scrape away at all the rubbish. As you can see, there's quite a build up, so I'm going to get on with that. Once you've done that, some cheap toothbrushes, 25p from Sainsbury's, can of engine parts degreaser. Once you've cleaned all of that out, you just want to spray it up with some degreaser, get in there with a toothbrush, give it a good scrub. Exactly the same on the inlet port and the engine. Doesn't matter if you do get a bit of brake cleaner or engine degreaser in there, it will burn off when you start the car. So I'm going to carry on with this and I will update you guys very soon. Update for you guys. So we now have the manifold back on. So bolt up there, bolt down there. The bolt at the bottom I had to replace because when I was taking it off there actually wasn't one in there, so it's obviously been taken off and cleaned before, but we've got that on. I couldn't film that as it's really awkward to do, to be fair. It's quite easy, but obviously I haven't got three hands. As you can see, the EGR port is now spotless, so that's nice and clean. I will try and rest the camera up and film me getting the EGR back on for you. Alright, bear with me guys, because I can't prop the phone up anywhere, so I am now doing this one-handed. So, gasket, get that on. Now your EGR, when you're looking at it, plug towards the front of the engine. Let me just put you guys over here for a second. So this pipe here is a bit pliable, so you can move it around. As you can see, it's got this sleeve in the middle. So we'll drop that on, and you get your gasket, your second gasket. That's going to sit there. This is going to push back down. I'm probably going to need two hands for this, but you want to get these two holes over them two studs, so I'll check back for you in a second. Okay, so we got that on. Like I say, it just pushes back down. I've only just finger tightened these bolts, and your two long bolts will go down into here. You want to get them in as far as you can by hand, and the reason for that is you don't want to cross thread them. Also, when you do tighten up any of your EGR bolts, including the ones at the back of the manifold, just get them snug. You can use a torque wrench, put up the torque specs if you want. With a bit of experience, I mean, I've been working on cars for a while now, so I sort of know when it comes to bolts like this by feel. But honestly guys, they really aren't too tight because you will snap the bolts. So once they're on, get your 12mm, screw them down nice and snug, and then I'm going to get my ratchet. Like I say, you don't want them too tight, so you're just gonna really, once they're on, just until they feel like they're really nipped up. You don't want to be putting too... Alright, so back again guys, dirt on my face, choice. Right, so yeah, I've finished EGR as you would have already seen. I've just got in, started it up. Expect it to take a few seconds to start when you first start it. That's just because you've had things off, but it fired up the first time. It's idling, absolutely lovely. I haven't taken it for a drive yet. I'm just letting it warm up, and then I'm going to give it some revs while it's idling, just throw everything out of the system and let it burn off. At the minute the temperature is still quite cold, so while we're waiting for it to warm up, what I will do is I am going to just do a scan for you guys. I'll walk you through that. You can get cheap readers and so on. I don't expect everybody to obviously have a reader. If there's no codes, you shouldn't really need to do a scan. I invested the other day in a launch off Amazon, usually about £180, £190, on offer for £130. Covers all makes, models, most years, up to modern and going right back. So handy bit of kit. Again, it's going to benefit me. I don't expect you guys to have that sort of stuff. However, Euro car parts, places like that, you can pick up just a little red handheld reader. I think it's Streetwise or something like that, which will just give you your generic P00 whatever code, which can be pretty handy to just have in the car and have with you. For 20 quid, it's worth the investment. You can read basic codes, you can clear engine lights. So again, it can save you having to pay someone to come out. Diagnostics these days, £50, £60 upwards. just for someone to come out and tell you, yeah, this is what it is, and then you've still got to pay for the work done. So like I say, my videos, I hope with the content that I'm putting out that it helps you guys at home to be able to do a little bit more yourself. So yeah, I flip the camera around and I'll show you the machine. Okay, so here we are. I've already obviously plugged it in. It's read the VIN, so we are going to start system detection. It's automatically picked up the car. So like I say, it's a brilliant tool, this one is, purely because I can connect it to Wi-Fi, I can update. There's also extra upgrades that I can buy. Top left corner gives me my battery voltage, so you can check your battery health and so on. So we are going to check the engine control module. I'm gonna have a look now. Like I say, I've not got any engine lights or anything. It might be let's try 16 pin, slightly older model, so it's going to be a 16 pin probably. So it's just communicating with it now. There we go. So now it's just going to read through all the modules and it's going to give us a data report. It's a IS220D. It's 2009 to 2011. So that's all our vehicle information. They're just, ignore the year because it's just the year that the model first came out. So we're going to OK that, and it's now going to scan. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. So as you can, really good. So no codes in the system whatsoever, which is absolutely brilliant. So yep, we can come out of that now. Yeah, you don't need to worry about investing in something that costs that sort of price. Cheap £20 reader will give you your generic codes, and it comes with a little book, so you can read them codes. You can pretty much see what the issue is yourself. A little bit of Google, a little bit of YouTube, and you can tend to sort out most little things on your own. So like I say, I'm going to let the car warm up, going to give it a good old rev, clear some stuff out of the system, throw it out for the exhaust. I'll take it for a good drive down the dual carriageway, let that nice and warm, burn everything off, and we should start seeing much better fuel economy. And the main thing is, when this car goes in the next couple of weeks, I know it's going to be going to someone and it's in good health, which is the most important thing. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch up with you again with another video very soon.